Hello and welcome. My name is Neil Trussell, and I'm excited to have as my guest Self Worth Sam. And even before I get into his bio, I just absolutely love the brand Self Worth Sam. To me, it's just brilliant. And Self Worth Sam is a trained educator, a performer, and he works with people to help them achieve their personal and professional goals. Welcome, Sam.
Neil, is an absolute pleasure to be a guest on your show. Hi from Australia.
Yeah, it's like, what does my future look like? Because you're in my future right now.
Well, it's raining. It's no, I'm kidding. It's looking much better today, and your future is looking bright. I assure you of that.
So we don't, 20 minutes as we were talking in the green room is like, oh my gosh, we just got to jump in. So there, the younger version of you, what did you think success was?
I would have to say that. Well, how old can we go back to here? Let's say teenage years. When I was a teenager, I thought success would be having a big house, a sports car, and a lot of money. And that was it. And looking back, I just think, oh my gosh. I mean, as much as that was certainly a lot of fun to have that kind of goal, it's quite limiting. And I know that I've changed over time. I guess also back then I had no idea what it meant to travel the world and experience culture. Um, I was really inspired by science fiction novels. And so I was really inspired to create my own movies. I wanted to be Steven Spielberg at the time. And
That's a
so,
beautiful goal.
yeah, so I had this idea of being a successful movie director when I was in my teens. And um, yeah, so that was my idea of success many years ago.
That's that's far more holistic than my idea as a teens. I just wanted to get lucky.
Yeah, well, they're good goals to have too, right?
Yeah, and so before we get on to what it is now, so we could pick any ultra successful. We could pick the Elon Musk. We could pick the Steven Spielberg. Oh, since we talked about movies, let's talk about Steven Spielberg. What do you think is an ingredient that made him a, a step out, like this the director that everyone wants to be, that he emulates, that we would like to be mentored and taught and tutored by him and be Spielberg. What do you think that he's got that the average person may not?
Playfulness, creativity, and a love of telling a story that speaks to people. I actually was able to see him on stage in Los Angeles at the Hollywood Bowl a couple of years ago. He was the master of ceremonies for John Williams and the Los Angeles Philharmonic, and so he came on, introduced John Williams. It was like, wow! I actually got to see him live, and he's got a great sense of humor, and you can just tell that if you want to encapsulate, success in a guy like that, it's a sense of fun for life, a zest for life, and enjoying other people's company and working together. I think that's, if I could guess his formula for success, I'd say that would be it.
Wonderful. And what other let's pick any other successful person. What do you think that separates the average person, the guy, and not the guy on the couch, but just an average person from something ultra successful?
All right. Well, I'm going to talk about someone who has provided with me with incredible amount of education and mentoring over many years, and that is Dr. John D. Martini. And I would have to summarize, if I could summarize his success formula, it is prioritize, streamline, and delegate. And that means you find out what's most important to you, and then you streamline it so that you can get it done the most effectively, most efficiently as you can. And then you delegate those systems to other people who are inspired to do certain tasks, so it frees up your time to do more inspiring things for you. I'm also going to add in there that his philosophy is that when a person knows their highest value, like the single most value, they know what they are inspired by, and our identity sort of surrounds that value. So when you know your highest value, for me, it's teaching. I love teaching so much, so I identify as a teacher. And when a person knows their highest value, they are most inspired, they're most likely to be productive, to have a vision for life, to set goals and achieve them. So getting really clear on your highest value has been something that Dr. John Demartini has been drumming into my brain for years from watching videos and reading his books and attending his seminars.
I was blessed with the privilege of having dinner with the man.
Oh, wow.
And he has an incredible sense of humor, an
I agree.
incredible, to the point where he's a prankster. And I'm like, and I've also been the privilege of interviewing him on uh, 6 years ago. So
Great.
I when you mention values, I'm going, yep, you've worked with Dr. John Demartini, because his
Yes.
it's all about values, and he talks about how you won't go against your values.
Yeah, he says that if people want to find out their purpose, or if they want to find out how to be the most successful in life, look at the facts that your life demonstrates. So how do you spend your time? How do you spend your money? What conversation topics do you like to talk about? What do you think about? What do you visualize most? And the facts don't lie. Look around your life and think, okay, what does my life demonstrate? And they're going to indicate what your values are. And so the challenge then is to refine that down to what is the number one value that is most inspiring to a person. And I've spent a long time doing that, and I continue to refine it, but I've come to this beautiful sense that it is teaching, specifically reading and teaching world philosophy.
Um,
Absolutely love that.
yeah, it's wonderful. So is would that be a measure? No, let's change this. How would you, this current version of you, define success?
I would define success as knowing your highest value, creating a vision that inspires you, a vision that goes beyond your lifetime, and then creating goals, daily tasks and goals that you can achieve that day, that you can link to that vision and that value, so that you know that every single day, whatever you do is contributing to your vision and to the cause that you are dedicated to. That's the success formula. It also boosts self-worth, which is, I guess, why I'm all about self-worth, is that when people can articulate their highest value, their vision, and the daily goals that they do every day, their self-worth is going to go up, and they know for sure that they are on track to completing their vision. So every day becomes successful.
So what I so let me ask you. So if person with low self-worth, can they be successful, or does the person need to move to an understanding of self-worth to be successful?
When a person is living in alignment with their highest value, and they can articulate what activities help them fulfill that value, they naturally become inspired from within. They don't need external motivation. They can tap into their spiritual vital core. They can tap into their sense of purpose, their love for life, and that actually changes the brain chemistry. So a person who perceives themselves to be uninspired or lazy is because the brain chemistry is, they are kept in their amygdala, which is the flight or fight response center. And so
Yes.
life is either I've got to run away from that or I've got to run towards that, a fight or flight. But if a person becomes inspired and they know their highest value, the blood and the glucose goes from the amygdala into the prefrontal cortex of the brain, where it activates the executive centers of the brain, which there's a lot more neurons in this part of the brain, which makes a person literally see more potential and more options and ways of interpreting their life, which is inspiring rather than just having two, fight stuff or run from things. So get really clear on the highest value, the thing that you absolutely love, and dream a little bit, and don't sort of submit yourself to a value that somebody else tells you you should value. So get really discerning and go, okay, is this my value, or is this a value that perhaps my parents or society has told me I should value? If you're trying to achieve that, it's going to be an uphill battle. But if you can find the thing that is in your heart, say, no, that's the thing that's most important to me, you'll have much more greater happiness. There'll be more meaning in your life. You'll be able to articulate a beautiful vision based on that self-knowledge.
Beautiful. Thank you. So all of a sudden, I paraphrase. So when I talk to Dr. John D. Martini, he says to achieve success, you need to, and I'm paraphrasing this, as he said, that's pretty similar to what you had said, was you need to take whatever you place of value and take daily incremental steps towards achieving and living that value.
Correct. Yeah. Find out what little things need to be done in order to achieve your goal. And whenever you're doing one of those tasks, even if you don't like the task, list reasons for why doing that task is going to help you achieve your higher value, and keep listing until you can go, I can now see why this task is so beneficial to me. So there's something you don't like, you can always say, okay, let's say someone doesn't like the technical aspects of building a business. I know a lot of people don't like to build websites, or they don't like to do the marketing side. If that's your case, you either delegate it to somebody else, or if you are not in a position to do that, figure out lots of reasons why doing the marketing and the building of the website and learning how to do it is going to help you get to your highest vision. And just keep listing lots and lots of reasons why it's going to help you, and you'll be more likely to finish the tasks.
Thank you. What I'm there's a message or a theme that I'm hearing underlying, that successful people are taking the time to look at their values and understand their values and discerning what their own values are. Because I can say, Sam, you should be doing this. You should be. If I'm your father, I say, Sam, you need to do this, this, and this. Or I could be your brother and say, well, the family does it this way. So what I'm hearing is you're saying you need to spend some time discerning what it is that you find of value.
Precisely. I think it's one of the most valuable things a person can do is to get clear on what is in their heart, what is the value, the concept, if you like, that inspires them most. And look at an activity. For me, it's reading and teaching. I also love traveling. I love meeting people, networking, building a business. anything where there's learning and teaching involved, I get excited. So from that, I can express my full being. So if somebody is telling you you should value something, and you are thinking, well, that's not my value, don't listen to them. Simple as that. Or what you can do is you can say to them, here is my highest value, and then articulate to them how you achieving your value is actually going to help them reach their values. So you speak to other people in terms of what you value through their value of their hierarchy of values.
Do you mean I actually have to be able to articulate what I believe in, and I have to know what I want to believe in?
Well, yeah, when you know what your value is, it becomes easier. And I think belief comes out of the value. I mean, you don't have to believe in the facts. The facts are staring you in the face. Like if you can look back and reflect on your life and say, well, I know that I love raising a family, or I love times where I've been building a business, or I've absolutely loved traveling the world and learning languages. You don't have to believe in that. It's like, it's proof. So just reflect over your life, look at the times when you've absolutely felt inspired doing certain things, and the value will be right in those things there. So it could be an activity, it could be a concept, it can be, can be a little bit broad. Like I could say, my highest value is teaching. And then you go, well, what specifically? So someone might say, I love wealth building. I go, okay, great. For what purpose? And then you develop your mission out of that, your vision, how you're going to contribute. So once you've got the big picture, you start to break it down into the small steps, if you like, to achieve it, and the things that you can do every day to feel fulfilled.
Wonderful. So what I'm listening, and for our viewers, is so at some point in time you need to understand your values and discern them, find them, and then you need to create a plan and go and take the appropriate actions and live it.
Yeah. So I would recommend people write a purpose statement, might be a paragraph or two, and refine it over time and read it every day. And from that purpose statement, you write a list of things that you would love in all areas of your life. So you might have physical goals, you might have spiritual goals, financial goals, you might have social goals, vocational goals like a business or a career. You might have mental goals and relationship goals. So once you know your value, your highest values, articulate a purpose statement and your list of things that you would love to have in all areas of your life. And from those things, you start to go, well, how am I going to get those things?
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. I can't believe we've already almost spent 20 minutes. It's like, oh, you've given us so much, and so thank you. But before we go, is there anything that you would like to leave our viewers, our listeners, whether it be on replay or now? Would there something you'd like to leave them with? A last little thought.
A last little thought. Yeah, because I've been talking a lot about imposter syndrome and its connection to self-worth for a long time, I want to say if people are feeling that they're not good enough, or if they feel like an imposter and a fraud and they're not living the life that they really want to live, remember that a person who is living out of alignment with their values, their highest values, is an imposter. And a person who is living in alignment with their highest values is authentic.
Thank you. That's very profound. So if you want to know more about Self-Worth Sam, you can go onto Facebook, or you can find him on Instagram. I highly recommend you take the time to to get to know Sam. Okay. And with that, thank you, Sam, for
You're very
taking the
welcome.
time to be with us today.
Pleasure.